Hey guys, it's Ben over at Dog Ranch Resort. Today I want to help you guys learn how to walk your dog on a leash and give you a couple tools and tricks on how to get them to behave better, burn more energy, and just be an overall better dog when you have them on a leash. So the first thing we'll kind of go into today is there are 1,000,002 products out there that will promise you how to train and walk your dog on a leash. However, I will say the tool is as only good as the holder. Meaning, if I have a chainsaw and I'm trying to mow my lawn, it's not going to go very well. So, throughout all of my dog training experience, there's a couple tools that I enjoy the most. When I go for a walk with my dog, I typically like to either have a normal flat collar and a normal leash, or my preferred favorite is one of these slip leads here. This is just a simple normal nylon slip lead, and all you do is you just lasso it around your dog's neck and it tightens for you. The other version of the slip lead, and there's this great company called Mendota. They make these beautiful, nice long slip leads as well, and they come in handy while walking with my dog. Another thing that I also like to do is I like to set myself up for success on walks. So, as you know, dogs have 4 feet. Humans have 2 feet. So, how do we equalize the pace that dogs walk compared to humans? I always like to use what's called a doggy backpack. I bought this one on Amazon. They've got 1,000,002 different ones. I have a Belgian Malinois at home, and he has got energy for days. He runs a marathon a day, and he still has enough energy to annoy everyone at home. But what I do for him when we go on walks is these are probably 3-pound weights. I put one of these in the backpack, and that significantly slows his walk down, and that helps me able to walk him on a loose leash a lot better. Not to mention it burns his energy a lot quicker. The other thing I'll say you can do about these backpacks is use them to put water bottles, poop bags, your cell phone, your keys, whatever. They come in wonderful handy. Now, a couple things that I'm not a big fan of on the leash, or on the walk, or using to walk my dogs, are harnesses and retractable leashes. There's 1,000,000 videos out there from disgruntled dog trainers for people who use these things. And the reason why they don't like the flexi leashes or the harnesses is simply because they're different tools served for different purposes other than walking. With my normal slip lead here, it gives me a defined length. And in dog training, we are all about setting ourselves up for success. So what happens when a dog is typically on a leash, I have 6 feet of leash or 5 feet of leash, and I know that if I hold the leash here and they see a squirrel, they only get about 6 inches of leash to jerk my arm around. Now the flexi leashes, what they do is you let your dog sniff, smell, and let's say they're 20 feet in front of you on the flexi leash and a squirrel's 20 feet behind you. Well, they have 40 feet of leash to go full speed ahead and chase that squirrel and rip your arm off. So that's why I'm not the biggest fan of slip lead or of flexi leashes, because it's that uncertainty. I like knowing how much leash I have because I'm a control freak when it comes to handling my dog. The other thing I don't like is harnesses for my walks. Now, harnesses serve great purposes. Harnesses are built to pull things, right? So we wear harnesses to support our weight when we're rock climbing. We wear harnesses when we're pulling something behind us. Dogs wear harnesses when they're pulling a sled or a cart or something of that nature. So harnesses actually encourage pulling as opposed to stopping that pulling. Yes, they have no pull harnesses, and they have all sorts of new products out there that kind of deter you from letting your dog pull. However, proper technique is always the better answer. Harnesses just get your dog all amped up and just pull your arm off. And once again, I don't want to be pulled or controlled by my dog. So between a nice Mendota leash, a simple normal slip lead, or a flat buckle and collar, and then my doggy backpack, my dogs heal perfectly with me, and our 30-minute walks are fun, enjoyable, and productive. All right, guys. So here is my demo dog, Jackson. He is an expert at all things guinea pig. I use him as my demo dog for all of my training and for showing clients what a dog should do on a leash. With Jackson today, I'm not going to show you how he loose leash walks. He's pretty good. He follows me wherever I need to go, and for the most part, he does what I tell him to do. Now, before I start on the walk, I always want to make sure that I set myself up for success. So Jackson's going to show you guys how to properly start your walk process. I never want to go into anything with surprises when it comes to walking. So the first thing I'll say is collar placement is everything. I like to use my slip leads simply because they tighten and then they relax. Tighten and relax. That's important for me because my dog needs to know a correction of tightening when they're doing something wrong and relaxation on the leash when they're doing something correctly. So with Jackson here, where do I place the collar? I see so many dogs come in each and every day and their collars are low on their neck. So with Jackson right here, he's pretty lazy, so he's not going to do much, but he can pull me and use all of his strength with the bottom end of his neck. All of Jackson's strength is actually situated towards the lower half of his neck. So right here. When I put a leash and collar on a dog, I want to put it nice, high, and tight. So I'm going to, Jackson, sit. Sit. Come on, bud. Good boy. So when I put the leash and collar on, I want to make sure that it stays high and tight. Right here, right behind the ears. When it's right behind the ears, it allows me to take full control of my dog. Now, when walking with my dog, it's also really important that I start the walk as if I own the walk. In life, we gravitate towards people who feel like they are in control. So do our dogs. Our dogs more so than anything. All your dog really wants is someone to tell them exactly what to do. Yes, they'll push the boundaries like any child or anyone else will, but once they know you're in charge, you've got them hooked for life. You can obviously see how passionate each and every dog is towards yourself because they love you and they spend all the time with you. But they also like to push your boundaries. That all goes away when they know that you're in control. So, the first thing that people get wrong when they go on the walk is how they hold the leash. Typically, we walk as if our dog is already pulling us. So, come on, Jackson. So, as I walk around, I am basically preparing to play tug of war. And I don't want to play tug of war with my dog. My dog is going to win 9 times out of 10, and that one time I do win, it's by pure luck. I want to walk as if I walk as a normal person. So, how do I typically walk? I walk with my arms by my side, and I just go, right? So, how people walk with their dogs is they walk with their wrists turned outwards. I always tell people, knuckles forward. Knuckles forward because that's how you normally walk. You don't want to change how you walk for your dog. Now, when I walk Jackson, I make sure that his collar is very high and tight. Come on. And I keep a leash as short as possible, meaning I've got the leash about 6 inches of full leash, and I keep my other hand knuckles forward, and we walk. Good boy. I try to keep my arm an extension of the leash. So my arm should feel as loose as possible when I'm heeling with him. Good boy. Good. Good boy. I always like to keep two hands on the leash simply because if one hand slips or my dog gets too excited, I have my other one to help me and protect me. So knuckles forward, and I make sure it kind of rests firmly on my thighs. But very good. Now, Jackson and I have practiced. There's nothing too impressive about what Jackson is doing. He's going to walk loosely on a leash no matter what. But I do want to show you guys what it's like when you have a dog who is not very well leash trained or they haven't practiced loose leash walking before. Hey guys, so here I have Tucker. Tucker's going to be my guinea pig for today. Right now I've got his normal leash and collar on. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to demonstrate the big difference in proper leash technique will mean. So notice his leash and collar are down low on his neck. Down low on his neck means he has a lot of strength. So if he wanted to jump up on me, or if he just wanted to pull me wherever he can go, wherever he wanted to go, he's a 100-pound dog. He's going to have a lot of success even with me and anyone else who may walk him. So I'm just going to kind of walk him and show you the big difference. Now, as we're going, he doesn't necessarily want to follow me. He's kind of far and he's getting distracted and not much attention. Part of the walk is mental stimulation. So I want my dogs, when they're heeling with me, to be focused on me, to pay attention to where I'm going. If Tucker doesn't want to do anything, he's big and strong enough to kind of force the issue. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out my slip lead and I'm going to show you where the leash needs to be. So Tucker, good boy. So all I'm doing is I'm taking my slip lead, and I showed you the nice one earlier, but this one is just high and tight on his neck, so you can kind of see the difference. There's about 6 inches of difference in how we walk. Now I'm going to take his normal one off, and this gives me a lot more control. All of his strength is down here. My big philosophy, and most dog trainers, is you control the dog's head, you can control the dog. That's why gentle leaders work, but gentle leaders are somewhat intrusive and uncomfortable for a dog to get used to. Whenever you take away control from your dog, they're inevitably going to throw a temper tantrum. Just like when you take candy or TV away from your child, they're going to throw a temper tantrum. That's why we're always trying to put down a good foundation for our children and for our dogs. So with Tucker, I've got the leash high and tight. He's somewhat heeled with me. And then when I'm going to walk, I'm going to make sure that I have my knuckles facing forward. I have my other hand on as a safety harness or a safety net, and we just walk. Come on, buddy. He might rear his head a little bit. He might pull this way and that way. But when I feel like he's getting in front of me, all I have to do is I have to just pull him slightly to the side. So a side correction is simply pull to the side. The reason why I don't pull backwards or forwards is because, like I said earlier, dogs go the opposite of pressure. Pulling to the side gets them momentarily off balance, and then I can regain control of where I'm going. Come on, Tucker. Good boy. So this is how I typically walk. Notice I'm not using my whole leash simply because he is a very tall dog, and I just don't have any more room. But my arms are nice and relaxed. Tucker is nice and relaxed. He's heeling perfectly. I can tell you I've trained Tucker a grand total of 0 times, and he's already got a wonderful foundation of heeling and walking with me on a leash. Good boy. Sit. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Now, the beauty of this is I'm in a controlled environment. There's not many distractions going on, but if there is a distraction, all I have to do is pull him to the side. Now, let's say I go a little bit more free on the leash and I give him more space. If he gets in front of me, all I simply do is I turn around and go the other way. When people go for walks, we make the mistake of, oh, I got to get my 5 miles in. But you don't. It's all about quality, not quantity. You don't necessarily learn how to bench 100 or 300 pounds the first day you hit a bench press. It takes time and practice. So I would rather work on quality repetitions and doing all of the right little things first than going for a 5-mile walk with my dog. So my first walk might just consist of me walking back and forth in a room for 10 to 15 minutes. Good boy. Good boy. Notice Tucker's overall demeanor is significantly calmer, and he also seems a little bit more engaged. Now, his tail is calm, his ears are relaxed. We are officially in a travel mode, which all dogs like to be. They're natural born travelers and scavengers. So if he does start to get in front of me, all I have to do is, nope, good boy, pull him and turn him around the other way. It's almost like a wax on, wax off technique. I'm not going to have luck pulling back on him because he's going to outmuscle me. I have to pull him around in a big circle. Good boy. Good boy. All right, guys. So just to kind of recap everything, we want to make sure that the leash is high and tight. I prefer a slip lead, but you do want a collar, if you do use a collar, to be high and tight. I also want to make sure that I am projecting the walk how I would like to walk, meaning if I prepare to pull, my dog is going to pull. If I prepare like I'm calm and in control, my dog is going to pick up on that. So when we have dogs who are reactive on leash and you start to tense up, as you start to see another dog or a distraction, your dog inevitably tenses up and starts to react to that behavior. If you're calm and confident, your dog will let go of that a lot quicker. Now, pretty straightforward stuff, technique, 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 and just practice. And don't worry about going for those 5-mile walks. Those will come eventually, but we always have to start with baby steps. Now, if you guys have any questions, please give Dog Ranch Resort a call. We'd be happy to help you get going and start getting out, practicing, and enjoying your walks. Thanks, guys.